Hey everyone, this is Lock Outdoors. Well, here I am at my camp. Unfortunately for all of you, I had a malfunction today with my video equipment and I couldn't record my hunt. I was out hunting small game, and on the island here, small game consists of grouse. It consists of ptarmigan or partridge, same animal, different names, and squirrel. So today I managed to bag about 5 squirrels and my recording didn't happen. It seems like it kept shutting off just after I hit the record button. So unfortunately, yeah, we missed, you guys missed out on a lot of action. Now, right now I have prepared some squirrel and I'm going to start having some, getting ready for some dinner here. It's roughly 8 o'clock in the evening now, and it's about 7 to 8 degrees outside. It's wet, but I should be okay. So I got my sleeping bag, I got my blankets. I should be very comfortable tonight, unlike the last time I was down where it was really cold. And again, this is the second week in a row where there's some wild animals nearby. I've spent pretty much every weekend here since February of this year, and in the last 2 months I've had more animals down around the camp in the nighttime than I've seen yet. Last week was coyotes, and this week I don't know what it is, something big. It grunted and groaned a bit, whatever it was. I think it was a moose again, and yeah, he whatever it was came right through front of the shelter where my fire pit is and towards my door of my camp. So he's, whatever it was pretty big, but I got the shotgun there and I'm loaded up, ready to go in case something happens. But yeah, anyway, loads of fun. Anyway, I am going to do some reading and hopefully not get eaten. Crazy. All right. Hello everyone, this is Lock Outdoors, and today I'm very quickly going to talk about sleep systems and what I use here in the area that I hunt and go camping and hiking in. Now, there are a lot of different options that are out there, and I go with the three-piece setup, and it's fairly inexpensive, but you do want to take into mind that when it comes to sleeping and staying warm, you should make an investment into some relatively good gear. So I'm going to talk about the pros and cons of what I have and the reasons why I use it. So as I said, I have a three-piece system. The first piece I'm going to talk about is my inner lining. Now this inner lining here is a fleece blanket. And I was lucky enough to find this at a local Walmart one year. And it actually comes with a zipper attached and it acts like a sleeping bag. So you can completely unzip it. And you got yourself a nice fleece, very light fleece blanket. And I use this blanket to go inside of my sleeping bag, which I will show you in just a second. Now this is my fall setup. This is the setup that I use when I am hiking and camping in the fall. Okay, it's early October now, and I tend to use this more so now. I don't use the blanket in the summertime. I usually find it's too warm. Actually, sometimes I'll find that my sleeping bag is too warm too. So sometimes I'll just use this depending on where I'm at. Now my next option, or the next piece of my sleep system, is my sleeping bag. Now this is an old sleeping bag, But this is a Mountain Equipment Co-op Zypher Light. And this sleeping bag is relatively old, but is in good shape. I've used it quite a bit. It is, I just want to go into it here, see if I can get some of the details. It's a thinsulate lining, all right, or fill, which makes it washable, it's soft, and it's fairly lofty, and it's non-allergenic. It's synthetic. Now, everyone talks about the pros and cons of synthetic-based sleeping bags or down-filled sleeping bags. I prefer synthetic because they do keep their insulation when it gets damp. And here in Newfoundland, with the weather being the way it is and the terrain and stuff, as right now it's overcast and drizzle. This here allows you to keep some insulation qualities in it um, while you're out in the woods, right? It's always damp around here. There's always something that you need to be thinking about. So I went with the Thinsulate a synthetic-based sleeping bag. It's a mummy-based sleeping bag. All right. It comes with a hood on it that can go over your head. And in the summertime, I find this sleeping bag probably more than enough than warm. Okay. In most cases, I usually find it too warm. So what I've been doing, especially in the fall now, to give that little extra bit of warmth, I'll stuff my inner lining into this sleeping bag. And last night, for example, I spent the night down here. It got down to as low as 6 degrees Celsius. And I was very warm in this. I was comfortable. I slept well. So with the combination of the inner lining and the sleeping bag, it works really well. Now, here's a benefit, something to take in mind. This sleeping bag was just moderately priced. It wasn't like super expensive. It was actually given to me as a gift, but I looked at the price, and at the time it was about $100 or so. Now, there's a lot more expensive sleeping bags out there, and there's a lot cheaper sleeping bags. But if you're able to get yourself a fleece blanket or a wool blanket that you can put on the inside of a sleeping bag that you already have, you'll more than double the quality of your sleeping temperatures. You know, it's a lot more comfortable. So if you can find something that's thin and light that you can use as a liner inside of a sleeping bag, go ahead and do it. All right. It will take any sleeping bag you have and just make it that much better. Now, the last piece I have is my Thermarest. Now, an insulated pad, I guess you can say, is what this is. And it is what it is. You know, it's this is another old piece of kit. It's an original Thermarest, 1990. I think I got this. Use this a heck of a lot. Now, there's different pads that are out there. And a lot of people used to think that this is for comfort, for laying and making things softer. Well, it does a tiny bit, but its main goal is to give you an insulative layer to stay warmer off the ground. Now, people say, well, you can use boughs, and I do use boughs. I make a boughs bed quite often. But the thing is, sometimes you just don't have that option, or it's late, and you just want to have something fast to throw out. And I use my Thermarest. So last night I used my Thermarest while I was here. And it works really well. Now, this also adds to the level of comfort for when you're sleeping, for when it comes to temperature. This stops a lot of the updraft. And say if there's a draft underneath you or the wind blowing, this does protect you substantially from getting cold. And if you do want to use a boughs bed type of system, and with the boughs, you got to have at least 4 inches of compressed boughs to stay comfortable. All right. That's a fair amount. Like before you actually lay on it, that's about 8 to 9 inches thick.
So you really want to have a lot to make a good boughs bed. So this here, if you don't have as many boughs as you would like, you can put what boughs you do have and lay this on top. And man, this will make that very, very effective. So I have a three-piece sleeping system. It is a thermarest, a fleece blanket, and a sleeping bag from Mountain Equipment Co-op. And that stuff has been serving me for many, many years. And I don't see a need to get a new one anytime soon unless I'm planning on going up to the Arctic. So one of the reasons why I like this sleep system so much is that it does compact up to a fairly comfortable and easy to manage portion. It's certainly light. It is a little bulky, but I don't mind that too much. But what I do like is that I can get my sleeping bag and my liner all packed into the sleeping bag that it comes in. So my sleeping bag and my liner fills out about 1.5 feet by about 1 foot diameter in space. So yeah, it's a little bulky, but if you strap this on the outside of your kit bag, it's not that big of a deal, really. It is relatively light. It's only probably a pound or two, if that. So yeah, my sleep system, I very much like. Now I'm going to fold up this thermarest, and I'll show you just how well that packs up. And this is my thermarest when it's in its complete um, storage mode, I guess. Now it does come with a little blue cover that I usually do use, but I never brought it down with me this time. I don't know why. Maybe it's just to cut back on a little bit of weight. But this does come in a little small bag, but I find that even in the bag, I can get it smaller if I don't use it. So I think that's the reason why. But yeah, so this is my sleep system. Now I'm going to pack this all into my kit and I'll show you how.
Hey everyone. So right now I broke camp and I'm making my way home, but as I do, I am just taking my time as I walk through the trails in hopes I can flush up a grouse. Now, there's lots of squirrels around and I got enough already to do what I want to do with. So I'm going to let most of the squirrels off the hook, as you can say, for the remainder of the weekend. Now I'm specifically looking for grouse. Just up ahead now, I am hoping to, I got to cross a brook, which has a fairly large pond called Goose Pond. And I am going to hope to get a duck there if I'm lucky. There was ducks down by the other pond there today, but I never decided to shoot. And then about 30 seconds later, some other hunters decided to shoot at something farther down the pond, and it flushed everything anyway. So that's it. That's what happens. Okay, let's see what's up ahead. You were at my camp last night. How about you? Stay safe.